Welcome to the Mediocre to Magnificent podcast. I'm your co-host, Braxton Matson, and your host, Lee A. Williams, and I just want to say thank you for tuning in because you are what makes this pure magnificence. You are the ripple effect of magnificence, and we are going to bring you a message that will give you insight, inspire you, motivate you, and challenge you to not only grow in your magnificence, but let you know that you are magnificent in everything you do. So stay tuned, you don't want to miss it. Lee, man,
Yes, sir.
we are present and accounted for.
Counted for. We are, man.
I'm here. You're here.
I'm here.
The audience is here.
They're here, man. And you know, like, I don't want to discredit any of the countries that listen in. But Spain and Belgium have been riding with us for a very long time, man.
They have, man.
And it's been like, I mean, when we drop it,
Yeah,
they're tuning in, man.
right.
So whoever's in Spain and Belgium, man, I just want to say I really appreciate you. And I'm not saying to discredit because we have listeners all over
Yeah,
the globe,
the globe.
but Spain and Belgium
Shout out to Spain and Belgium, man.
every week, man.
Every week. You know, it's
Like
crazy, though.
on the
when we
on the
look
day
at
that it
stuff.
drops, man.
Yeah,
They're in. I would love to know or hear or see a comment or like, hey, it's me,
right.
you know, so I can engage with you, so we can engage with you, just because you've been listening faithful. So do something, comment, say something, say, hell, it's me, I heard the shout out, because I'm talking
Right.
about you, and let me just acknowledge you
Exactly.
to another level. So yeah, I wanted to say that, man, but what we're talking about today is interesting, right, man?
It's very interesting.
Yeah, man.
I like
And,
the way you termed it. I like
treating life
treating
like there is timeouts and referees, man.
timeouts and referees. Treating life.
So I know you can go two ways. I know you really could go two ways with it.
Yeah.
So the first way, and I don't mind us going both ways, or if another way comes up, it's fine. That's how we roll on this podcast. But the thought process is, it could be sports driven with like, I mean, we've been to a game. I remember the game that you went to, you took Gavin to, remember? And it was 3 or 4 overtimes.
Oh, the Hawks game. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. It was, it was so crazy.
We had tickets to, and you.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
let us go, and like Gavin at the beginning, it was just so loud. And when he he was young,
Yeah.
he didn't like the loud noises, but it was so cool how they had stuff for that,
Yeah.
and it just made the experience more
Yeah.
for them. And then the fact that it went to overtime like 3-4 times.
Yeah. But I'm saying, because even when me and Erica went to the games and different stuff, so we would,
Yeah,
it would be like, okay, well, the game is this long, but it seems like the last 2 minutes ends up being the length
yeah,
of either 1 or 2 quarters combined. You're like, okay, there's 20 seconds left on the clock. Why has it been 25 minutes? like,
That's
with
like
timeouts,
with football when they do the
referees.
timeouts and stuff. You know, they got like commercial timeouts, and then they got the actual legit timeouts.
Right.
I'm like, man, this takes forever.
But so I'm saying, so is that, you think that might be creating a culture that, to some degree, I don't think it has that much influence, but I still wanted to bring it up to say, like, okay, you're treating life like there's timeouts and referees. Like, oh, something happened to me. He didn't call the foul.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, that play didn't go away. Coach didn't call a timeout.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, out here in real life, there is no
Right. There's
referee
no referees or
and
timeout.
timeout.
There's not.
And you might want one. And the reason why you want one could be legitimate. Like you were mentioning before, like a loss of a loved one.
Yeah. I mean, that strikes me as like the timeout part.
Yeah.
And I haven't, like, I've seen my parents go through that stuff.
Yeah.
And the process of like what you got to do, and you know it hits home because it's like literally you want a timeout from,
Right.
like you just want a pause button,
Right.
just timeout. But life keeps moving,
Yeah.
and that I can see where the timeout and the referees come into play in life, where how we want that,
Yeah.
but it's just not there for me. I don't think it's just there. It's not.
So and we always talk about, with one of the ends is meditation, and so like with everything, because I know like when my mother passes,
Mm-hmm.
like whether there's a referee or timeout,
Yeah.
I'm gonna create a timeout. Like it's gonna be, I'm gonna allow myself to go through the grief process.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you okay? No, I'm not.
Right.
You know how people and want to be strong or want to, like, are you okay, Lee? No. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, my mom just passed. Not speaking that over, she still got a lot of years left. Because we jokingly were talking, like, because she was telling me, she was like, yeah, I think I got another. No, like, she said, because, we have presses. We have Spanish masters, so, they're getting up in age, but she was like, yeah, I think I got another one in me. And I was like, okay. Like, you know when your parents get older, and people, please don't hold this against me. I'm literally joking, but you start buying stuff that has 20-year lifespans.
Yeah.
And let's just say your parents are 80. It's like, what? I want you to live to 100. I do, and you probably will. That's fine. We can play that game.
Uh-huh.
But when you're making choices, I'm willing to say like, okay, so you're gonna have to outlive the dog, right?
Right.
Like if you're getting another one, you're gonna have to outlive it.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole nother dynamic.
It does play another dynamic.
Like the dog's life ain't gonna have a timeout.
Yeah.
And be like, oh man, now
Like it's gonna keep living. It's gonna keep living.
new owner. And I'm gonna do right by it.
Right.
My mom, she already said she's gonna haunt me if I don't. But it's the thought process. Like, there's no time out in that.
There's not.
So where do you think like we said that it keeps going, but then I made an example to say, okay, when in the divine order of the way it's set up is like, okay, your parents are gonna go before you. Like if it goes in the natural order of things.
Mm-hmm.
Like your kids don't go before you.
Naturally, yeah.
There's some tragedy, some stuff happened, I get it. But in the natural order of things, you'll outlive your parents.
Right.
So in the event that one passes, life's gonna keep happening. But what would you say, how do you create like, nah, I'm gonna take the time? And the time that you might take or might need might be different because, the job might say, well, yeah, you got 3 days bereavement. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
I lost my best friend, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like not allowing it to look a certain way, but to create it to look the way you need it to look.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say would be into that?
My mind goes automatically to like the way we had set it up. where we want timeouts and referees. It's like, you be the timeout, you be the referee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm glad you said it that way.
Like
That's
like,
what I was looking for.
Like if you need that time,
Yeah.
take the time.
Right.
Like it's now there are repercussions.
Yeah.
Possibly. But it's like you're the referee of your life.
You're the referee.
You can throw the flag.
You throw the flag.
You can call the timeout. You can blow the whistle. You can do that.
Yeah.
But it's like, why do we not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of it could be just outside factors. I really think the outside factors play a big part in us not being our referee.
Right.
Or calling the timeout.
I mean, so we jokingly like, and there's probably been movies on that, but it's a football scene, and they're down by 1 or whatever, but the other team's in field goal position, but the team that's actually kicking the field goal doesn't have a timeout.
Right.
And the kicker get ready to go up there and kick, and then we jokingly be like, call a timeout, ice the kicker. Yeah. So where do you think we're in that perspective of like already lined up, getting ready, and you call time, and this is like you've been iced.
Yeah, man.
So it's the thought process of like when I coach clients, man, it's like, especially when it comes to like different finances and different things, and it's like, cash flow and some of the doodads, it's like, well, that's a doodad. It's like, okay, say for instance, you got children, so your children are going to graduate high school.
Right.
Right? So if you say, hey, like, come down to senior year, and there's like, oh, there's senior pictures, there's cap and gown, there's this, there's that, and it's like, okay, most likely, and especially in America here, in our culture, and not saying in any other culture, but we know, like, when our kids go to school that they're going to graduate school.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you might have
more
the person
than likely. Yeah.
Dropped out. I get it. Get a GD. I get it. So I'm not saying all circumstances, but if we just use yours, like your child, is going to graduate school.
Right.
So then, how do we say cap and gown, senior pictures, or do that? And it's like, oh, life's happening. I want to call timeout. Like, timeout, I got to get my money together for the prom. Or, oh, timeout, I need to prepare for. Like, okay, how long they been in school? Like, you've been waiting for this day forever.
Yeah.
Like it's not a.
Right.
It's not a timeout moment.
It's not a timeout moment. I mean, I really like how you put that because it kind of made me jump back to like us being the referee of our lives. Being a referee, you got to know the game. You got to know the game.
Right.
And, I mean, we could go. There's some referees that don't make the right call. Yeah, but they know the game.
Right. And then, so by you saying that, because that takes it to a whole nother level. And for the non-sports people, just please, these apply to life. You can review. Like, oh man, I gotta go review. So now we're like, I'm really going back and forth with, you know what I'm saying? I really advocate now. It's like, they can go review the film.
They can review it.
What? But in
was
our
the
lives,
call
how
right?
do we review it?
Exactly.
And then if they say, like, they make a call, the opposing team can challenge.
Yeah. And guess what? When they challenge it, you got to review it.
You got to review it.
I mean, come on. If you were a referee and you didn't review it, and it like legitimately that you had to review it and you didn't review it, I don't think you'd be a referee for very long.
Yeah. So how does that apply to life? And like, if we really say like, okay, you're making calls. There's being calls made. Certain things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
You're wanting to take time out. There's things that's transpired in your life that you need to review.
Yeah.
Like, hey, my children are getting ready to go to college and there's no scholarship. But you've known that you want them to go to college their entire life.
Right.
Where do you...
The preparation involved in it.
Of knowing the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said.
You got to know the game. And the thing is like, people don't... Like, for me, a good example would be like a financial side. Like, I wasn't the one that had a job in high school.
Yeah.
I went to school. I went to college.
Mm.
But then the real world hit. It's like, you got to pay this stuff.
You got to pay it.
Like,
it doesn't
and
just
that,
imagine
but, and that's fine. Like, that's your life. That's my life.
Yeah.
But you're still the referee. Like, you have to know the game.
Yeah.
So you got to start somewhere. Referees start somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, they don't just show up in the NFL or NBA.
Yeah.
Like, they've had experience in other venues to get them to that point. And it's the same thing. Like, you've got to be the referee of your life.
Yeah.
If you're not, somebody else will.
Oh, they are.
And it's going to dictate everything you do.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to start somewhere.
Yeah, man.
You got to start somewhere.
So if you were, like, say, let's, for the last part of it, to drive home or to flush out the whole message, if you were talking to the younger you or to children, I go speak high school, middle school all the time.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say as far as like, hey, from the aspect of you can't live your life like there's timeouts and referees?
Like, if I was to tell somebody that, like, you can't live life like that.
Yeah. So basically,
yeah.
like, so to say, does the version of knowing the game or preparing for the game, it doesn't change that something might happen in the game that you want to call a timeout.
Mm-hmm.
But by knowing the game and being prepared for the game,
you're able to handle
you're
it.
less likely to have to call a timeout.
Right. Yeah.
Or be the referee.
And that's the thing. Like, I still feel like you have to be in control. I think that's where the referee side of it is kind of like facilitating everything. Because you got to know the game. You got to know the life. But in doing that, like, I mean, 90%, if you look at a football game,
yeah,
90% of the time, the refs aren't really involved. They're just looking over stuff and making sure things are going right.
So are you saying that's accountability?
Yes. Like,
so
that's
the
like,
referee is it being built-in accountability?
it's a built-in account. To me, that's how I would view the referee.
Like,
Of my life, it's like the referee's there to keep you accountable, to play the game, and to do it the right way.
Right.
But you don't need to be focused on referees. You don't need to be focused on the timeouts. You need to be focused on the game.
Right.
And that to me is like how
so what
I
do you
would
see when in basketball, it's like you've heard the term flopper. Like, you just flop.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I hate to tell you this, but it's gonna be accountable. Like, referees, like, they're gonna know. And if you know the worst, like, you know.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, I didn't even touch it, man.
Right.
And we review the play. There was no contact made.
Mm-hmm.
Now, say there was motion, and then you responded, and you're like Academy Award winner for Best Actor. There's some choreography going on here, but it's a built-in accountability. So what we would tell a young person, because say for instance, like I was looking up some like the top 10 peer pressures.
Yeah.
For youth is like, of course, alcohol and drugs. Stealing, lying, cheating in school, some of those things.
Mm-hmm.
So in the thought process of referee and timeouts is how do you position them to say, like, some of these things are going to come across you.
Yeah.
Like you're going to experience or be exposed. Like we're going to want to play like parenting, like, oh, well,
this will never happen.
Yeah,
You won't.
not my child. It's like, okay, man.
No.
If you're, it's like, okay, well, I don't know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking it's natural to be like, do you know the answer? So, but to say that, how do you prepare for that? To be like, hey, time out.
Mm.
They're trying to cheat on my paper.
Yeah.
Does it go that far? Or you just kind of like shift and move and be like, and then you get bullied. I'm not condoning that. I'm just saying to say like, oh man, I can't believe you didn't give an answer. You knew the answer.
Right.
Well, I studied, man. You need to study.
Right.
How do you prepare a child for that? To not give it and just be like, well, I gave the answer, even though I knew it was wrong. I felt wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Especially knowing he didn't study and I did.
Right. Yeah, yeah. That's yeah. Like, I get that.
How do you take a timeout there?
Yeah, because, you did the right thing, but you had outside factors playing a factor, and then whichever way you did it, you're going to feel a certain way.
Right. So now, look at this. So, this might have been set up, but it's fine. So, guess who the ultimate referee is?
To me, it's the man upstairs.
This guy.
The man upstairs.
I mean, have you ever, I might be incriminating myself, like you're out of town and you're in the souvenir shops. You know how the souvenirs, and they got junk everywhere.
Yes.
What prevents you from stealing a magnet? No, it's one of those things that you know. It's one of those things that you know. If you pick the magnet up and put it in your pocket, you're not going to get caught.
Mm-hmm. Like, I can't, but it's the man upstairs for me. Like, the fact that I'm not going to take something that I can just legitimately grab and just walk off with, and nobody's going to care.
No one's going to know.
Nobody's going to know. And I don't do it. It's the man upstairs.
Yeah. So we got to look to the true referee.
Mm-hmm.
The true play caller, excuse me.
Play caller. Everything. Right. Authority figure. Everything.
Right. Like follow the word, follow the commandments.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what keeps you in line. But that's what you said, knowing the game.
You got to know the game.
So that's why I threw the person cheating or peer pressure, and it's like, what game are they playing? Is it some worldly game? Or is it a game of righteousness?
Right.
Because somebody's refereeing this thing.
Mm-hmm.
They know all the plays that's been made. And you're going to have to account for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, I liked it, man. Timeouts and referees, man.
Timeouts and referees.
Till next time.
This is your co-host here, Braxton Matson, and Lee and I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into this episode. We hope you've enjoyed it. just as much as we did making it, but we couldn't do it without you. So please hit that like button, leave us a rating, leave us a review. Let us know what topic or subject that you would like us to talk about in your journey from mediocre to magnificent. But most of all, share it. Be the ripple effect of magnificence and know that you are magnificent in everything you do. Till next time.